AITA for telling my mom what her husband said to me. I'm a 16-year-old girl. My mom got married a few months ago, but she had been dating her husband for 3 years. My dad died 6 years ago. A couple of weeks ago, my mom and I had a conversation. She told me she had noticed that I'd been a bit more distant and that she wanted to talk to me because I'd never been like that before. She also mentioned how uncomfortable I sometimes seemed and how much that hurt her. She asked me to share whatever I was feeling and said it would mean a lot to her if I could be honest, no matter what. So, I was honest with her and admitted that seeing her with her husband made me a little sad. I told her that I was happy for her and that I wanted her to be happy, but I couldn't help feeling sad because it wasn't my dad making her smile, and I thought it should be him. I told her it wasn't a big deal, but I was still trying to get used to seeing them as a couple. My mom hugged me and apologized for not checking in more about how I was feeling. I told her it was okay and that I loved her. She seemed a bit upset, so I reassured her as best I could, and I got another hug. A few days later, my mom's husband approached me and asked why I had to tell my mom that, and if I was trying to break them up or make my mom feel like she couldn't be affectionate with him when I was around. He said that, on top of everything, I made her feel like a bad mother. Then he told me I was old enough to know that some things should be kept to yourself, no matter what. He also said he had tried to step in as a father figure, but I clearly didn't want that, so he had stepped back. But for me to have an issue with him loving his wife was too much. I could tell he was angry. I sort of knew my mom wouldn't like that, but she asked me after noticing some tension in the air, so I told her what her husband said to me. My mom was furious with him. They got into a fight. Later, my mom's parents got involved, and both they and my mom's husband told me I shouldn't have told her what he said. They said it really seemed like I was trying to stir up trouble. AITA? Top comments. Comment 1 asterisk. NTA. You answered your mom's question honestly, and you weren't attacking either her or her husband. Her husband found out and threw a tantrum because you were honest about your feelings, and then he got your maternal grandparents involved. Your stepdad is acting very immaturely. Comment 2 asterisk. Your mom loves and cares for you, and she wants you to trust her, as any parent should. She heard you, believed you, and was right to confront her husband for his inappropriate behavior. It's obvious your mom wants to check in with you and make sure you're comfortable, but she's having a hard time navigating everything that's been happening in your lives. Her husband has no right to interfere in your relationship with your mom the way he did, policing what you're allowed to say or not say to your own mother. His behavior is completely inappropriate, controlling, and delusional. This is why your mom is angry with him. She realized what a huge jerk she married, and that he's trying to drive a wedge between her and her child. Don't stay quiet. Keep the lines of communication open and honest with your mom. NTA. Comment 3 asterisk. NTA. Your mom is the only adult doing her job. The most important thing is that you're not responsible for keeping adult secrets. No way. What was all that training in school about? Don't keep secrets for adults. And I would add, for anyone in a position of power over you. Keep an eye on who asks or pressures you to do that when you're older. Also, something really unfair happened to you and your mom, and yeah, things get uncomfortable when life moves on in weird and unfair ways. Your stepdad is a jerk for telling you to hide your grief. He took your grief in this situation as an insult. It's a complicated situation, and he even said you don't see it as black and white. You're happy she's happy, which is incredibly mature, but he still took the overall situation as an insult. He took your mom being concerned and possibly dealing with some unresolved grief as a threat and an insult. He's being incredibly immature. Guess what? My dad passed away 23 years ago, and sometimes I still grieve out of the blue. My mom grieved occasionally until she passed a few years ago. His ego is in for a rough ride if he doesn't grow up. This isn't about him, and I'm sure that's hard for him to grasp.